an ex-UFC fighter turned bouncer at a roadhouse where things are not as they seem. Elwood Dalton, a former UFC fighter, earns his living by duping other fighters in the underground fighting scene. He's approached by Frankie, the owner of a boisterous roadhouse on Glass Key, a Florida Keys community. Frankie, lately faced with several groups of aggressive customers ruining the atmosphere of her restaurant, asks for Dalton's service as the head bouncer. Police provide little to no help, and her previous bouncers have left. Frankie offers him $5,000 per week. Despite Dalton's disinterest, Frankie leaves her contact information with him. After a terrifying episode in which he barely survives a suicide attempt with a cargo train destroying his car, Dalton decides to accept Frankie's offer and boards a bus heading for Frankie's establishment, simply known as the Roadhouse. Along the way, he connects with Charlie, a girl who co-manages a bookshop with her father, Stephen. At the Roadhouse, Dalton comes across a motorbike gang led by Dell, who operates under the area's crime boss, Ben Brandt. Dalton beats them up and personally transports the injured gang members to the hospital. There, he meets Ellie, a doctor who administers to his wounds. Dalton finds temporary shelter in Frankie's unoccupied houseboat and takes on a mentoring role for other bouncers, such as Billy, quickly gaining respect within the community. However, Ellie gives him a warning, stressing the dangers of becoming involved with dangerous groups and warning that the law enforcement authorities may not come to his help. Following an assassination attempt by Dell, Dalton finds him waiting at his houseboat. In self-defense, Dalton throws Dell into the water, but Dell is brutally attacked by a crocodile and killed. Dalton is left wondering about the gang's obsession with the Roadhouse. It quickly becomes clear that Brandt had strong interests in the real estate business, and the Roadhouse stood in the way of his development plans. Knox, a psychotic enforcer, is tasked by Brandt's imprisoned father with tracking down Dalton. Following an unexpected date with Ellie, Dalton is confronted at gunpoint by Sheriff, who orders him to leave town. However, Ellie, revealed to be the sheriff's daughter, intervenes. She says that her father is working with Ben Brandt, who inherited his rich father Gerald's narcotics and real estate business. Brandt meets Dalton at the Roadhouse and teases him about his past in a UFC title fight against a friend. Dalton became enraged and killed his opponent in the octagon. Knox enters with Brandt's men, and an all-out pub brawl begins, leaving Dalton seriously injured. Frankie reveals that Brandt has been buying properties to build a luxurious resort, with her being the only holdout. She explains Brandt's financial situation, which shows his dependency on shady sources of funding. Frankie believes that if she can endure the pressure for a little longer, Brandt's dire financial situation may lead to his death. Initially intending to leave town, Dalton's intentions change after discovering that Charlie and Stephen had been hospitalized as a result of an assault on their bookshop by Brandt's thugs. Dalton, consumed with rage, exacts revenge by killing one of the criminals. He confesses to being afraid of losing his cool, knowing that when angered, he becomes unstoppable. With his rage focused on Brandt and Knox, Dalton sets up a plan to incriminate a sheriff's deputy in a major cash transfer for Brandt's illegal operations, confiscating the funds in the process. Subsequently, the sheriff informs Dalton that Brandt kidnapped Ellie and demands a ransom in exchange for her release. Using a bomb-equipped motorboat to reach Brandt's catamaran yacht, Dalton confronts him alongside the sheriff, who reveals that Ellie's abduction was a ruse to lure Dalton aboard. However, Brandt double-crosses the sheriff, revealing Ellie is indeed a hostage. Tensions escalate as Knox approaches in his boat, but Dalton detonates the motorboat. Below deck, Dalton discovers Ellie trying to escape through a window. Brandt seizes Ellie once more as Dalton commandeers Knox's boat. In a dramatic climax, Dalton and Ellie leap off the boat just as Brandt and the yacht crash onto the Roadhouse. Scaling a causeway, Knox commandeers a pickup truck and crashes into the Roadhouse, starting a furious struggle with Dalton. During the chaos, When Brandt orders Knox to kill Dalton, Knox unexpectedly turns on him and breaks his neck. Knox prepares to kill Dalton with a sharp wood piece, but Dalton takes control and stabs Knox repeatedly until he is immobilized. The sheriff arrives at the scene and promises to cover up Dalton's involvement on the events. As Frankie and Steven begin the reconstruction process, Charlie bids Dalton farewell as he is waiting for his departure via bus. Steven discovers Dalton's farewell gift, a trunk full of cash. Knox, who has miraculously survived, launches a savage attack on hospital staff before getting away in a patient gown. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.